my name is David Watts, and I have with me Tom Boucher from Emulex, and today we're going to talk about the new Emulex VFA5 Ethernet adapters for System X servers. Tom, we have two new adapters, the two VFA5s. So what's new with these compared to the VFA3?
Well, primarily from the VFA3, we continue everything we've done before. So we have the virtual NIC and the storage offload with Fiber Channel over Ethernet or iSCSI. But with the new VFA5, we've added two new functions. The first is overlay networking offload engine, and then also a new feature called RoCE, or RDMA over Converged Ethernet.
And where would customers see value in those new features?
So the first one, overlay networking, is used primarily by large virtualization instances. So you would have customers that either use VMware or Microsoft's Hyper-V solution, and they have these protocols. They're called VXLAN or NVGRE, and what they allow a virtualized environment to do is create a routable layer 2 network between multiple locations. Or you can also create what's called a multi-tenant. For example, Coke and Pepsi, if they were on the same server, they didn't want their networks to touch. So these overlay networkings allow you to create a routable network across multiple sites that are like a virtual LAN, but just extended beyond the layer 2. The RoCE feature is primarily used today by Windows 2012 R2. So Windows 2012 has a feature called SMB Direct, and it allows them to have a low latency Ethernet connection, but use file system protocols over it. So Hyper-V has something for live migration that takes advantage of it, and it drops the time to migrate a VM from one node to the other from what used to be about a minute to about 6 seconds. So it's a very fast, low latency protocol.
So big performance improvements over the VFA3.
And it also, the server CPU utilization goes from like 80% to 5%. So it really doesn't take any overhead off the platform, lets the platform continue doing what it needs to do, but meanwhile gets things faster off and on the box.
Right, okay. Of course, these cards are called the Virtual Fabric Adapter, the VFA. NIC virtualization is a pretty big component of these adapters, right?
Right, correct. And we continue to offer that with this generation. Very similar to what we did with the previous generation. For every physical port, you get 4 virtual instances. We support 3 modes of vNIC. There's the original Virtual Fabric mode that requires an IBM networking switch. And then there's the switch independent mode, which just runs on the adapter itself and is compatible with any network switch. And then the third mode was introduced originally on Flex, but is now being brought to the System X platform, and that's the Universal Fabric port, which is kind of like the original VFA vNIC, but with new extra features handled by the switch as well.
Right. And so we've got the two form factors here. This is the this one here's the PCI adapter,
right?
Regular PCI adapter, and this one's the ML2, the MES-LOM2 adapter format, right?
Correct.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but this version has the advantage that you can use these 10 gig ports shared with the IMM2 service processor. Right?
Correct. It has a feature called NCSI, or NICSI is another term you might heard it used. The idea being eventually 1 gig networks are going to be going away, and while there are 1 gig ports provided by the server, you may not have them connected to anything if you've gone to all 10 gigs. So with the embedded adapter, we can still do all of the IMM v2 features that you want to do when you manage a normal server, but do it through the 10 gig adapter instead.
Right. So servers like the new 3550 M5 that we have here have 2 1 gig ports standard. But yeah, you can buy an ML2 card, or for that matter, the regular PCI adapter, and still have this systems management through these IMM ports, these ports instead, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So we have the new features, the new overlay network capability, and the RoCE support. What are the other key features of these adapters?
So, being a new generation adapter, of course, they're going to be a lot faster than the previous generation. We see about, depending on the benchmark, 2 to 4 times performance enhancement over the previous product. But also, with the overlay networking offload and with the RoCE capabilities, in a large deployment, we can probably save roughly 50 to 100 watts per server by moving products that would be on other older platforms would have needed to been run inside the processor off onto the adapter. So by saving power consumption and performance of the server and putting it onto the card, we're able to cut the power consumption of the overall platform a lot more than we could with the previous generation product.
Right. And these adapters also support upgrades, right? The
Yes.
FCOE support and iSCSI support?
Correct. So just like the VFA3, we have the feature-on-demand support for the IBM platform built into these adapters. So you can buy them as a low-cost network card, put them in, use them as 10 gig. So all of the network card features come with the adapter. So that would be the virtual NIC features, the new Rocky feature, the overlay networking offload are all included. But if you wanted to add either iSCSI offload or fiber channel over Ethernet offload, that's available via feature on demand. Whether it's the ML2 card or the PCIe card, that's available as well. But then there's also another model available from the PCIe side that already has the feature enabled. So you can
That's the advanced adapter, right?
the advanced adapter.
Yep.
So we would have the ML2 card, the VFA5 with regular card, and then VFA5 advanced to have the
Right.
storage already purchased.
Yeah. And there's actually a fourth adapter. There's the integrated version as well, which looks the same as the regular VFA5 PCIe adapter.
Correct.
But it's a special adapter that's designed for one of them per server on certain System X models. Good price performance for that particular
Correct.
unit. So there you have it. This is the VFA5 line of Emulex 10 gig adapters, 10 gig Ethernet adapters for System X. I hope you found this video useful, and we'll see you later.